Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and today I am here to talk about what Mike Greenberg said about the Detroit Lions. If you missed the news because you were blackout drunk celebrating St. Patty's Day, that is understandable, so let me recap it for you. Basically, what Greeny said on his podcast is that the Detroit Lions may have missed their championship window. And of course, a lot of Lions fans and fans around the NFL took umbrage with it, including this guy. Let me explain why. First of all, going into the season, I get it that the Lions were favored to win the NFC North. I don't think anybody had them winning the whole damn thing or getting as far as they did. So if they weren't in the championship window leading up to the season, how could they have already missed their window after overperforming expectations, which is exactly what the Lions did this past season. They outperformed what they were supposed to do, which means by definition, they are ahead of schedule. Now, if you grilled Mike Greenberg on this take, not his best take in the world, not the best way he could have presented it in the long form clip that I saw of the video, is it's difficult to make it to championship games like that. Only 4 teams make it that far each year, and there's no guarantee that you'll make it back again this year. However, I would argue the Lions have a much better chance in the next 2 to 3 seasons of making it back to the championship game than they did last season. Number one, the situation with the coordinators. All the coordinators stayed. All of the coordinators stayed. Dan Campbell, of course, is still there. And Dan is the man who I trust and believe in to get the team where they need to go. Leading up into the season, like we already said, we all knew, I think even the most optimistic Lions fans knew, that this team had massive holes, and it showed in the playoffs. Jared Goff and the offense was able to overcome a lot of those holes in the defense, particularly with the secondary, particularly with the cornerback position. The Lions tried to make moves in the previous season for cornerbacks, didn't really pan out. We got a great one in Brian Brandt, but we need somebody else locking down the opposite side of the field. Safeties are fine. Linebackers are okay. The defensive line is pretty damn solid. Maybe another edge rusher on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. But we all know this team had holes defensively, and those holes were exploited in the NFC Championship game, and that's why the Lions gave up such a big lead in that game to the 49ers. Salary cap-wise, the Lions are in a great situation. They're not big spenders yet. We'll see if they spend big up on somebody going forward, but they have the salary cap. They have the draft capital that they haven't even sold out on yet to make moves during this season and during this offseason. We do have a couple of big players to re-sign. Jared Goff is going to need a big new contract, and Amon-Ra is going to need a big new contract, but not yet. Not this upcoming season, which is why I argue the Lions did not have a championship window last year. They way overperformed what they were supposed to do. And these next 2 to 3 years, where we still have Jahmyr Gibbs in this great draft class with Sam Laporta and the guys I already mentioned on the defense, Jack Campbell, of course, on the linebacking side of things. So those are my thoughts on Mike Greenberg's comment. I'm a fan. I haven't read many books in the past 2 years. One of them has been Mike Greenberg's book. I'm not throwing it away because of his take in March in the offseason about the Lions. But I think he's wrong, and it'll just be on the highlight reel, the season story leading up to next year when the Lions do go ahead and make a Super Bowl run. The only thing that'll get in the way is injuries, knock on wood, and Dan Campbell and that training staff does an excellent job of keeping the guys healthy and making sure they are ready for the season. We've shown a lot of durability as a team, including Sam Laporta bending his knee in half and then playing the following week. So I'm a big believer in the Lions these next 2 or 3 years, and why wouldn't I? They're still well under the salary cap, and they have only a couple of primetime veterans to sign. And after that, they can make some big moves in the offseason to fill up those holes, which they already have attempted to fill up some of those holes in the defensive side of the football. Tell me what you think. Do Do you think the Lions are never going to make it back to the NFC Championship game, never make it to the Super Bowl? Or do you think this is just the beginning? My name's Jamie Jakes. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and good night.